Good evening and welcome to Channel 8 Sports and East Brunswick High School Wrestling. Hi, I'm John Meggiolaro, being joined by Greg DeMarco for tonight's East Brunswick-Madison Central wrestling match. And Greg, this should be a good one on paper.
Terrific. This is going to be a great match, but on paper it's not so good. It's Madison comes in undefeated, 11-0-1. Plus East Brunswick's been struggling all year. They're 6-6, so it looks like it's going to be a blowout, but it's going to be a barn burner because East Brunswick had injuries all year long. Sickness. They're coming back relatively healthy, coming off of a runner-up place in the county tournament. Madison Central was third. So despite the team's records, this is going to be a very, very good match tonight. And it's one of the biggest rivalries in the county, so I think the viewers are in for a real treat.
Greg, no doubt about that, and you mentioned the fact that East Brunswick moved ahead of Madison Central in the counties last week. Is that really any indication of these two teams, since they don't really match up head-to-head, or do they?
Well, to do well in a county tournament, you need 5 or 6 wrestlers to do well, and that's what happened. East Brunswick came out with 5 place winners, Madison Central 4, so there was the difference. East Brunswick took second, Madison third. But tonight it's exciting because we have 9 county place winners. We'll be facing, on the mats tonight, including 3 champions, so it's going to be real exciting.
All right, East Brunswick, as Greg said, comes in 6-6. Madison Central is undefeated, but that could change tonight. And we'll be back with the start of the match in just a moment. And we start off tonight by looking at Greg DeMarco's mother and daughter, and his dad there in between the two young people standing up. And I understand they've come from New York to see this one tonight.
True, all the way from Amityville, Long Island, and here to watch the action. There's some very avid wrestling fans we have in the stands tonight, and I just hope my dad behaves himself and doesn't get thrown out.
Greg, we talk about East Brunswick 6-6, and injuries have really been the story of this team this year, as we pointed out at the beginning of the show tonight. And yet tonight at 160, Alex Decker is out, and at 125, Joe Capodanno is out. So injuries still plaguing East Brunswick.
True. They've been fighting that all year long, on top of what I believe is to be the best schedule in Middlesex County. No team in the county wrestles as tough a schedule as Madison does. So their 6-6 record is very, very deceiving tonight. And I think, Madison's coming in here undefeated. I think we're going to see a real fine meet.
If we pose a question to you, having been the head coach at both Madison Central and East Brunswick, how are you feeling at the moment?
I feel good. I got a good seat here, and it's the kind of thing I can't lose at. I really enjoy both teams. I know the wrestlers, I know the coaches, so it's really a pleasure for me to be here tonight.
Apparently they're going to have to take care of a little maintenance work. One of the mats splitting, and you see Coach Stu Cohn with the tape pulling it apart. Greg,
yeah.
Is there a difference in the techniques that we'll see? Does Madison Central come in with a different approach or philosophy versus East Brunswick? For example, some teams like to wrestle on their feet, others like to be down.
True. You'll see Madison is very good on top with a half Nelson series. This is a throwback to the Jackatos, who used it quite successfully in the scholastic and collegiate level. So they're very tough on top with these half Nelsons. East Brunswick prides itself on being good on their feet, so you'll see them working for as many takedowns as they can get. And yes, there are definite styles, and I'll try to point out some of these things as we go along here tonight.
All right, we're going to start out at 103 pounds for Madison Central. That's Joe Calabria, and he'll be going up against DJ Halpern, a sophomore for the Bears.
Yeah. I believe DJ met his Madison opponent in the county tournament, and this was just 4 days ago, with DJ coming out on the short end of the stick. So let's see if he can bounce back tonight, get East Brunswick back to a good start. So generally there's 2 types of attack you can use when you're in this neutral position. One is a leg attack, and another is an upper body. Madison went with a leg attack, went for a single leg, but DJ now is trying to work some defense, some counters here, and he's in kind of a bad position right now. One thing I might point out too is we mentioned wrestling holes. That's really a misnomer. Wrestling is a sport of movement. you flow from one position to another. It's not like a submission hold or anything, which happens to be highly illegal.
2 points immediately for Calabria. And Halpern appears to be in some trouble at the moment. First period action.
First thing DJ's got to do here is get his hands free. Otherwise, Madison's going to work some tilts in here. He's in a very bad position. He's got to clear those arms out, which isn't easy. But by the way, that's one of the most important aspects of a good wrestler. He has to have a good grip. You know, normally you think of basketball players or javelin throwers, but in wrestling it's crucial. And we see here now Madison
Halpern in trouble.
getting some back points here, and referee awards 2 points for near fall.
So Calabria goes up 4-0 with 35 seconds left here in the first period. 103 pounds. DJ Halpern for East Brunswick.
Let's watch both first moves here. East Brunswick tried to stand up, and Madison countered with a side tilt or chop tilt.
Greg, do you watch the tendencies of teams when you scout them? For example, East Brunswick from the bottom position trying to stand up right away.
Definitely. You'll notice some teams have certain moves that they like to do, and a good coach can exploit that and use it to his team's advantage if he sees a trend.
4 seconds.
Okay. DJ's got to work hard here. He's got to get a point, and not enough time.
And so that'll end the first period. Calabria on top 4-0. Halpern looking across to his coach, and he'll take the bottom position as indicated by the referee.
Let's see what DJ can do now. He's going to try to make the first move at the whistle, but the Madison Central boy knows that too, so he's going to try to block him. Let's see what they both do. DJ comes with a stand-up, got to his feet, which is good. Going to try to face real quick and get a 1 point for a neutral position, but they go out of bounds.
Greg, if I'm not mistaken, Calabria finished 3rd in the counties this past weekend.
Correct, and the county tournament is a very, very tough tournament. You have some 23, 24 schools in it. For you to finish 3rd in that is extremely tough to do, and this boy from Madison is the first of 9 place winners that we'll see from both East Brunswick and Madison.
Should point out that DJ Halpern is wrestling at 103 pounds, but he's light at that weight. He's around 98 to 100 pounds maximum.
He's not giving up all that much weight, but at the level that they're at, it is the lightest weight class. It could be a difference.
DJ Halpern down 4-0 with 1:10 to go, second period, facing John Calabria from Madison Central.
Talking about weight classes, that is wrestling's biggest plus. We have 13 weight classes to go through tonight, starting with 103 and going all the way up to heavyweight. So it's great because a boy can fit into a particular class and be a champion no matter what his weight is.
And also grow with the sport as he grows.
True. DJ, he'll go up a little bit next year, and somebody will take his spot, and they just move up one weight class as the years go on here.
30 seconds remaining, second period. Halpern's still looking for some points.
DJ is getting very, very close to scoring points, but they either go out of bounds or the period ends. He's got 29 seconds in this period to do some scoring.
Unable to get out from the grasp of Calabria.
Yeah. One thing you want to try to do as a bottom wrestler is to continuously move. Once you stop, that gives the top man a chance to put some holes on you and possibly turn you. So he's got to get some constant motion, get his hands free, and get some movement.
Good crowd tonight. As Greg mentioned at the start of the show, this is a natural and fierce rivalry.
Yeah, this is a great rivalry. I love it. I always used to love these matches. And many times, East Brunswick and Madison would wrestle twice during the year. They'd wrestle in a dual meet like we have now, and then they would go on to the playoffs and face each other again. And while we're talking about playoffs, it's been pretty much decided that in the Group 4 Central Jersey Division, Hunterdon Central has the #1 seed. They've got a 14-1 record. Second is Howell Township with a 13-0. Third seed is Madison Central, undefeated with 11-0-1. And fourth is East Brunswick with their 6-6 record, and that's a tribute to their tough schedule.
We're in the third period, third and final period. DJ Halpern for East Brunswick trailing 4-0 against Calabria of Madison Central. Calabria picks up 2 more points, making 6-0.
1:15 to go. Madison is pretty much dominating this, but there's still time left. DJ can do some moves here and come out ahead, but he's got to get the show on the road here. So with these playoffs now, it'll be Madison Central at North Hunterdon for the first round, and that was East Brunswick versus North Hunterdon, then Madison versus Howell, and that'll be the first round of the playoffs, which commence next week.
And that is team competition.
That's the nice thing about it. They get schools that are the same size, and they pit them against one another, and it's fantastic. Gives small schools a chance to come out with championships, and it puts all the larger schools together, which is what Group 4 is. Those are the largest schools in the state. 40 seconds to go here, and DJ's got a cradle from his Madison opponent, as well as legs. So DJ is in a very tough position here.
Turn to his back.
And he doesn't want to give up many more points, though, because right now he's losing by a regular decision. That would only mean 3 points. But it looks like Madison's going to score maybe 3 near 4 points here. And that'll be a major decision, which will result in 4 team points. 4 team points.
3 points given to Calabria.
And that was a tough 3 points there. I hope that doesn't come back to haunt Madison later on.
And that'll do it. DJ Halpern losing to John Calabria 9-0 at 103 pounds. And so East Brunswick starts off with a tough loss, and we'll go to 112 pounds where Mike Piscopriello will go up against Mark DiStefano.
So this is an interesting situation here. We have some strategy being played in the county tournament finals last week at 112. It was Brian Mintz versus this wrestler, Mark DiStefano. Brian came up on the short end of a 4-0 decision. So this wrestler from Madison is the champion in the county, and Brian had to settle for second. Now what East Brunswick did here is part of some wrestling strategy. They moved up Mintz, hoping he could beat that wrestler, and moved up their 19-pounder Greg Salzman, hoping to get 2 wins to Madison's 1.
And right away, DiStefano's on top 2-0 with the takedown.
This is a state caliber wrestler you see here from Madison Central. He's an outstanding wrestler.
Piscopriello is a sophomore. And as Greg said, wrestling tonight at 112 to allow Mintz to move up to 119. He's 3-1 in varsity competition, so he's no stranger to tough varsity matches.
True, John, but he's got his hands full here tonight. DiStefano is a quality wrestler. And so they're looking for 6. That's what they told the Madison Central boy. Go out and get us 6 points, and East Brunswick coaches said, don't give it to him. You go out after this guy, try to beat him if you can, but above all else, if you can't beat him, don't get pinned.
45 seconds here at first period. And Mike doing a nice job thus far.
So far, so good. Strategy, you don't think about too much in wrestling, but it does make a difference. In fact, Madison Central pulled a switch against Cedar Ridge, and it backfired. So it doesn't always work. We'll see how East Brunswick does tonight with it.
DiStefano riding that arm.
Yeah. Looks like
Piscopriello is really tied up, Greg.
Yeah, and it looks like his strategy here for Madison is to go for the pin and not just rack up a lot of points. You can win by a technical fall, which is 14 or more, but you only get 5 team points for that. So he's going to go for the pin. He wants 6 points. And right now Mike is doing a real good job here, not giving up those points. Hey, we even have strategy here in terms of what position to take second period. What many wrestlers will do is defer their choice till the third period, just to see the flow of the match.
Piscopiello will be on top. He trails 2-0. Team score, it's Madison Central 4, East Brunswick nothing. We're in the second bout of the evening, 112 pounds. DiStefano stands right up.
Still no points, but you see here
1 point for an escape.
Of a quality move. That looked more like freestyle than anything else. Good defense there, but we get 2 points for a takedown here using a fireman's carry.
Make it 5-0 for DiStefano. And he's given young Mike Piscopiello a wrestling lesson tonight.
What wrestlers can do sometimes is watch the edge of the mat. It's illegal to drive out, you know, to deliberately dive out. But sometimes you can just kind of roll your way and get a nice fresh start, because Mike's in a bad position here. He'd love to get out of bounds and start over, but they're probably too far away for that now. Here's DiStefano working, I think, a move which he's probably making up as he goes here. I've never seen that one before.
He's in control with 43 seconds to go second period. He's ahead 5-0.
Gonna get some more points here, and Mike is in trouble. He's got a bad hole put on him right now. It's gonna be very hard for him to get out.
Doing his best. He gets back to his stomach. You got to give the young man credit. He's fighting all the way.
True. Many a meet was won by not the wrestlers who actually won bouts, but by the wrestlers who lost close decisions instead of giving up a fall. And Mike can contribute that to the team effort tonight. He can be as much of a hero as a wrestler who goes out and gets a pin.
2 seconds, and he's going to survive the second period, and only trailing 8-0.
So this next period is known as the longest 2 minutes, both for coaches and wrestlers. Okay, he's going to take, East Brunswick takes down, and he's going to try to get to his feet, keep some movement, and not go to his back. One of the best moves on bottom is a stand-up, because the only way that man on top can score is if he puts you to your back. And actually standing, your back is farthest from the mat. So that's what he's going to try to do.
DiStefano awarded 3 back points, so he leads 11-0 as we start the third and final period, 112 pounds.
Hey, and Mike's in trouble again here now. This DiStefano is riding him tough, getting those back points.
And that's got to be a hopeless feeling, Greg.
It's a lonely feeling. Let me tell you, when you're out there against a quality wrestler and he's doing his thing on you, it's a very lonely feeling. Builds a lot of character in this position. But Mike, he's still hanging tough in there. Now you see this out of bounds marker here. He'd love to get his body over there, but you see the Madison wrestler pulling him over. He doesn't want to give up that hold. This is a double arm bar, and this is a bad position to be in. It's going to mean some back points here.
Again, prevents himself from being pinned.
Okay, now you see an interesting situation here. The referee stopped the match because it was potentially dangerous. There was a potential for an injury, so they just stopped the match, and now they'll start over again. 51 seconds to go.
14-0 is the score. DiStefano having an easy time of it, but that doesn't take anything away from the stamina and the perseverance of Mike Piscopiello.
He needs one more point now to get a technical fall here, and that will conclude the match, and he'll go off and get 5 team points for that. And you see Mike here still struggling to get out, but now if he could keep turning, he might be able to get a reversal. But
Inside 30 seconds.
Yeah. You see back points being awarded. They won't stop the match until he gets out of the situation. You see Mike struggling real hard to do that. And if he can get out,
15
like
seconds.
We'll stop the
and
match.
there it is.
Technical fall. Gave up 5 points, but nevertheless, that one other point, which DeStefano could have gotten for the pin, may make the difference come heavyweight match.
Good point. Final 17-0.
That could have been a very important point right there. We'll see.
We move to 119 pounds, where Brian Mintz will come out for East Brunswick against John Sheridan.
Hey, here's the strategy now. Let's move Mintz up, who took second in the county. See if he can secure a win here. And Salzman moving up. So let's see how the strategy goes.
Mintz comes in 18-2 overall record. He's considered the machine, according to Coach Stu Cohn.
He's a terrific. He's a great wrestler to watch. Doesn't stop.
Second in the county this year, as we've just said. Undefeated in dual meets. Facing John Sheridan.
Undefeated in dual meets is quite an accomplishment. Like I said, East Brunswick goes against the likes of Howell. They're the big power in Monmouth County. They wrestled Union, which the viewers saw a couple weeks ago. That they're a big power up in Union County.
Delaware
Tough
Valley.
schedule. Delaware Valley. They have an awesome schedule.
Yeah. Mintz.
It's up to Mintz now to take this opportunity and turn it into some points here. Madison's down by 9 points early in the match. They got to start their engines here. Get some points going.
Mintz isn't shying away. Team score, Madison Central 9, East Brunswick nothing.
Mentioned earlier, there's 2 types of attack on takedowns. There's the lower body or leg attack, and then there's the upper body, which Mintz is very good in. You'll see him work some tie-ups like right there. That's a Russian tie-up. He's working the upper body to secure a takedown.
Greg, it looks like Brian is coming in with his head. Is that legal, or does he have to be careful of that in terms of a warning?
Sure, yeah, a headbutt is illegal, but it's not a butt. He's just kind of positioning himself, yeah, to get his opponent to react, and then he can make the appropriate attack.
Still no points. 54 seconds, first period. Mintz against Sheridan.
Mintz is in good shape here. He's going to get 2 points real quick.
Trying to get behind him.
Spin behind. There's 2 for the takedown. He's got control. Now he's got to look for some back points.
And an escape.
Right.
2-1.
True, that was an easy escape. More than likely, Mintz let him up so he could take him down again. Oh, we got a situation here. Yeah, he did. He relaxed for a second. Madison came on the leg. No control yet. And let's see what Mintz does. Look at that balance. Both wrestlers out of bounds. No points awarded.
12 seconds, first period. 2-1. Mintz against Sheridan, 119 pounds. And they'll start over.
Tie your shoelace. And let's get the match on the road here. Nice move by Madison Central, but what a counter by Mintz. He gets 2 points for that. Good move, good wrestling.
4-1 Mintz at the end of the first period. Some good action here, 119 pounds.
Hey, Mintz selects bottom, and what he wants to do here is get out in a hurry and get to his feet. He's already scored 2 takedowns against his opponent, so he pretty much controls that aspect of the game.
Mintz, who finished second in the county this year, is the Hamilton East champion for 1988-89. And he only has 2 losses, and they were to 2 of the best in the state. DeStefano, who we just saw previously, and a Brian Donnelly from Delaware Valley. Coach Cohn expects Mintz to be in the States this year.
Definitely a quality wrestler. Looking good. We got to get some points here, though. We got 1:48 left in this period. Brian with the stand-up. Look at that cut. Nice cut. That's 1 point for an escape. Coming back right away to work the takedown. Look at this.
5-1 and
Oh,
Mintz
nice move. Barrel roll.
will get 2 more, make it 7-1.
He's on a roll now. He's rolling now.
Sheridan proving to be
Good.
just as tough.
Sheridan doing a nice job. He's not shying off. Looks like Sheridan's tiring a little bit, though. That could mean a difference here a little bit later on in the match.
Second period action. Mintz on top, 7-2. They'll come back to the center.
Looks like a little timeout there for what might be a bloody nose. And interestingly enough, these wrestlers, when they get an injury like that, some coaching takes place here. I guess that's not all surprising. But both wrestlers getting instructions as to how to proceed the match. East Brunswick with a 7-2 lead here, hoping to widen it. John, we got a break in the action here. We got some news on some former East Brunswick wrestlers. Bobby Dorr, who wrestled back in 1985, just came away from the Olympic training camp for Greco-Roman wrestlers. He's ranked as one of the top 8 Greco-Roman wrestlers, and he had the privilege of participating in that training camp in Colorado Springs. Okay, you see Mintz now opening up here, trying that Russian arm lock, which worked before. Tries a duck under. Madison counters with the same thing. Here's that arm trap.
50 seconds, second period.
See here some good wrestling. Both wrestlers attacking and countering, and that's what I talked about motion before. You don't see these wrestlers standing still. Constant motion.
7-2 is our score. Mintz on top.
Mintz got to get this takedown now before the period ends here. Widen up his lead. Working this Russian arm trap, and in position now to spin behind. It's 20 seconds left. He's got to keep an eye on the clock. Goes for a cradle here, hoping to take his opponent to the back at the same time. Should hook a leg here, get his 2, which he does.
10 seconds. 9-2 now. Mintz in the lead. And that'll do for second period. Oop, ref stops it with 3 seconds.
Once again, we have one of those potentially dangerous situations here, and the referee just stops the match and they'll start over, that's all. Has a good 9-2 lead, but he needs more points. He's got to get a 5-pointer out of this team-wise, or 6. If the strategy is going to work, we got to score big here.
And that'll end the second period. So Brian Mintz will go into the third period with the lead 9-2 over John Sheridan in Madison Central. And Sheridan will be in the bottom position, or down position.
Mintz looking pretty good on top here now, working to break his opponent down. After he gets him down, he'll work to turn him. But Madison, you see, sitting out now, reaching for the head, trying to get his escape or reversal. And Madison coming up, good position, but Mintz puts him to his back. Couldn't keep him down now. Here we go. Mintz going to try to work a good pinning combination here. Referee stops the match again, potentially dangerous.
Sheridan will go back over to the side, his nose still bleeding. And he looks quite tired, Greg.
Yep, but he doesn't have much time to go through yet. He's only got 1 minute and 25 seconds to go. He's getting a rest now. Very opportune nosebleed here. Gives him a break, permits him to come out fresh and try to escape from Mintz and avoid that pin. Might mention some other wrestlers now. the last state champion for Madison Central, for East Brunswick, excuse me. Darren Schulman is redshirting this year at Syracuse after having a very good year last year. Teddy Slewinski has graduated Duke University and is now studying law in a college in western Pennsylvania.
Some names from the past,
Yep,
certainly.
some great names. Terrific.
Sheridan catches his second win.
Yeah, that break did him good here. But Mintz isn't in too bad a shape. Not giving up any points yet. Okay, he got a point there for a neutral. But that's all right. Mintz is doing very good on his feet. He doesn't mind that at all.
9-3 now the score. Inside a minute left in this match. Out of bounds they go.
56 seconds here to go. Certainly need a takedown. Takedown would give us an 11-3 score, which would give us 14 points, but we've got to go for more than that. Take him down, get him to his back. 45 seconds to go.
Mintz is trying just that.
He's going to get 2 here. But it looks like he's going to try. I don't know what he's going to try for here. It looks like maybe a cradle, maybe a whip over. 28 seconds. We're getting close. Good.
And out they go.
Referee says they're out of bounds, so no points awarded there. Got to do it with your opponent in bounds. .22 seconds. We need at least a takedown. Mintz knows it, but so does Madison Central. Boys are adjusting their headgear. Many years ago, when these things weren't mandatory, cauliflower ear was a major problem, but it's been pretty much eliminated now.
A warning to Madison Central for stalling.
Backing up. You got to go forward. You're not allowed to move back. And that's what he did. We've got 15 seconds to go. We need a takedown, and we get it.
2 more, 11-3. Mintz now trying to get Sheridan to his back if he can. 5 seconds. He won't do it, and that'll be it. At 119, Brian Mintz with the 11-3 victory.
Good for 14 points here, and that's going to give us a 9-4 score. And that was phase 1 of East Brunswick's strategy here. Let's see now if Greg Salzman can come up with some points to make this strategy somewhat successful.
We move to 125 pounds, as Greg mentioned. Greg Salzman will be wrestling for East Brunswick against John McCauley.
Both wrestlers getting some last-minute instructions, and coaches and referee trying to figure out who has to send the man out first. It looks like it was Madison Central's got to do that first. So there goes the Madison Central opponent, and here comes Greg Salzman.
Greg, who was 6-11 last year, has turned that around. He's now 13-7.
Good improvement on Greg's part, but Madison comes away with a quick 2-point takedown, and let's see how this is going to go.
We understand that Greg will be going to the University of Ohio, has been accepted.
He has a quality opponent here. This fellow, John McCauley, is one of Madison's best wrestlers on the team. He lost in the county by default. He wasn't able to continue, but I'm sure he would have placed had he been able to do that.
Come back to the center. McCauley's on top already, 2-0, first period action. Salzman and McCauley.
Interestingly, McCauley started on the reverse side of what most wrestlers do in the top position. That's a good thing to do. Plus, he's got legs, but looks like Greg counters nicely. If he gets his hips up, just stand up, stand up. All right. Okay. Hey, I'm sorry, I'm doing coaching here. I don't know if I'm allowed to do that. Having coached at Madison and teaching at, I'm sorry, having coached at East Brunswick and teaching at Madison Central here, it's kind of tough.
And Macaulay having a little problem with the nose. He'll get back up. Kind of surveying around the gym.
Yeah. What they are doing there, or should be doing, is checking out the score, checking out how much time's left in the period, and then going to the coach looking for some instructions. Okay, you see here now Macaulay working legs. This is a form of wrestling that the offensive wrestler can do, and he does this quite well. He's generally going to try to wear his opponent out, look good with half Nelsons like you see here, possibly get some back points, but more importantly, tire your opponent out, and maybe later on you can get those precious back points. Which you saw a little while ago, Greg was very close to countering that form of offense.
25 seconds, and
once again, we see a potentially dangerous situation there. The referee stops it, and they'll start over. A little discussion there as to what happened. Certainly the Madison wrestler didn't want to break the action. But it's not a vote. If the referee thinks there's any danger of somebody being injured, he stops it.
Salzman fixing his headgear. Go to the bottom position with 25 seconds left in the first period. Greg Salzman trails 2-0.
This time Macaulay starts on the regular side, grabs an ankle, and Greg's having a tough time getting that first move going there. That's a bad position to be in on your stomach right here. Macaulay's got a very good chance to work a tilt here. He's got a good move. Did I mention last time that most of these are Latin names here, John, these moves?
And that'll do it.
Just missed getting back points. So big break for Salzman.
So at the end of one, Salzman trails 2-0. Team-wise, East Brunswick trails 9-4.
Can't tell the nature of the injury. Looks like we have maybe a strained elbow or a pulled muscle on the part of Madison Central here. But they'll come back, you'll see, somewhat refreshed and do a pretty good job here. One more former wrestler I've got some notes on. Glenn Pazinko, wrestling out of North Carolina, doing quite well. And one thing East Brunswick's never had, and that was someone to go on to college and place in the national tournament, Division I, and that's, from what I understand, is Glenn's goal. That's what he's going to try to do. But we're still waiting for that first national place winner out of East Brunswick High School. We've had a number of wrestlers out of East Brunswick place in the Division III, such as Jimmy Young. In fact, I think Jimmy was a two-time national champion, and a number of other wrestlers have done quite well. But the big kahuna, the Division I, is well, that's special. You know, that's where everybody goes to, and yeah. Talking about the best in the nation.
All right, Macaulay starts from the bottom. A clasp is called. I don't know who it's called on. I assume it's called on Salzman.
Yes, it's called on the top wrestler, which is what Salzman was a second ago. In addition, now Macaulay gets the reversal too, and he's going to get the 1 point for a locking of hands. That's something you can't do when you're on top unless your opponent's standing or it's a pinning combination. And Salzman comes back quickly with a 2-point reversal.
It's 4-3. Salzman immediately takes the lead.
Close match, and it's a pivotal match here. This is very crucial for both teams, what takes place here. Salzman working to get the back points. Very close to doing it. Ref counts, but he loses control, loses 2 points on a reversal.
5-4 the score. We're going back and forth. 125 pounds, second period action.
This match isn't over yet. Let's see Greg here get to his knees, get to his feet, get some movement, get some points.
Greg, I wouldn't be surprised if they call over the referee there. I think the scorer's table has missed some of the point scoring.
Looks like that's what they're going to do right now. Referee's going to go to the table there, and Madison Central coach questioning some of the scores here. And that would just take a second to get it straight, make some alterations on the board, and then it's back to business.
All right, actually, they say that Salzman only has 2 points and Macaulay has 7. So, as you might imagine, we're following the scoreboard here to keep you abreast of the scoring. It's 7-2 Macaulay for Madison Central on top of Greg Salzman.
So you get a bat that goes back and forth like that, it's very hard to keep straight sometimes. Fortunately, the coaches from each side are more than willing to give a hand as to what the score should be.
Stalemate.
Both men stalling. Both men stalling. Top man not working for a fall, and bottom man not moving. So here we go. They're going to start over again.
17 seconds remain, second period.
You know that the hardest level to referee at is the recreation level. Oh, these kids go. They don't stop. Points all over the place. You got to have your best referees down there to keep track of that. Okay, both wrestlers here on the verge of scoring points, and right now.
And that'll do it. Just as Macaulay was getting in position to move Salzman to his back. Sometimes timing is everything, Greg.
Okay, so here we go, third period now. Macaulay has a little limp here. Starting injury time now. 2 minutes to go with just one period. And Salzman's going to get refreshed, so will Macaulay.
Greg, in the event that Macaulay cannot continue, would he win the bout, or does it go over to Salzman?
Okay. Now, if you can't continue a bout through no fault of your opponent, in other words, he didn't do anything illegal, then you would lose by a default, and that would be 16 points for the other team, no matter what you were winning by. So he's got to come back out here and for his team to get some points. If, on the other hand, the injury was a result of an illegal hold by your opponent, and you can't continue, then the other wrestler's disqualified, and you get 6 points for that. Okay, here we have a situation, though, where Macaulay has an injury through no fault of Salzman. Okay, that's the end of injury time. And Macaulay's got to continue with the match here. Looks like under a little pain.
Salzman wants to start this period on his feet.
Shoots in for a single here, trying to work a takedown, working pretty hard. And Macaulay's still limping.
Would you not suggest Macaulay drop to his knees rather than try to stand up with that bad leg?
Sometimes we'll do that. However, by dropping to that knee, it could injure it. And also, it may not be as bad as he's making it out to be. There's a little showmanship here in this.
Salzman trying to move on Macaulay. Macaulay doing a good job defensively.
Both wrestlers working hard here. 1:25 to go in this period, and losing 7-2 here. East Brunswick got to get some points. Looks like they're in a situation here where neither wrestler's going to improve. Okay, Macaulay trying to spin behind. Salzman grabbing the leg. Looks like Greg can score some points if he can just get control of his opponent here, but they're very close to the edge. It's going to be another factor.
55 seconds to go. Salzman trailing 7-2. No points.
Referee indicates that there's no change in position, no takedown, back to the center of the mat. And it looks like Macaulay's injury is a little bit more extensive here.
Crowd starting to get into this match now.
Okay. Greg takes a quick shot, 48 seconds to go. He's got a head and arm, but Macaulay's in good position. Macaulay's in very good position. Greg's in trouble here.
Do you hold on to that hold or you let go of it?
Let go of it. You got to get the show on the road here. Get some motion, get some movement.
9-2, 2 points for Macaulay, 25 seconds left.
Okay, and he's good position here to score. Got 1 point for the neutral, but he needs a lot more. 18 seconds to go.
Down to 10.
Got to score quick here.
Salzman trying to get behind him. 4 seconds.
Oh, look at this. Look at, oh boy. Woo.
And at the
What a
buzzer,
finish.
2 points awarded to Macaulay, and that's how it'll end, 11-3.
What a finish. What a finish. And
Stu Cohn not very happy with the awarding of the last few points.
yeah. Tough call, tough match to referee.
We go to 130 pounds now, where for East Brunswick, Mike Pilato will be taking on Andy Seawald.
Seawald was a finalist in the county tournament last weekend, and is off to a surprising start this year. He's going to look to lengthen Madison's lead. Right now it's 13-4.
Mike is a sophomore, has some varsity experience. Actually, it's his first, really only 1 year of wrestling experience, so.
First year wrestling?
Yeah.
Tough position to be in here.
Yeah.
This is known as a big meet.
Team score is Madison Central 13, East Brunswick 4. We're up to our 5th bout of the evening. Mike Pilato for East Brunswick, Andy Seawald for Madison Central.
Yeah. Seawald wrestles quite experienced. He wrestles pretty much all year long. Very dedicated to the sport, and it's going to be tough for East Brunswick to overcome that experience and dedication here. And plus the record, like I said, Andy Seawald took second in the county. Still no points awarded. Nice cut by East Brunswick here. And nice shot.
Pilato going in after him.
Got to finish it though. You get no points for effort here. Got to finish it, and he
Did he
does,
get it?
But the referee says
No.
out of bounds. Much to the displeasure of the East Brunswick fans here.
No score.
Tough calls to make here. Very tough.
Pilato is caught.
Here. He's caught, but he's going to roll. Oh, he didn't quite roll through. He loses 2 points takedown. Got to fight off of his back, and he's going to lose some back points here too.
Seawald now on top, 2-0. 20 seconds, first period.
Madison Central looks to be in control here, and East Brunswick's got to get to his base, but Madison working for
3
the fall.
seconds.
3 seconds to go.
And that'll do it at the buzzer. 2 more points for Seawald, 4-0 as they go to the second period.
One thing that wrestlers have to understand, and that is when you walk out on that mat, a referee on occasion will make some bad calls, questionable calls. I wouldn't even say that they're bad, and you just have to overcome that. That is something which a wrestler is aware of when he walks out on that mat. He's got to beat the ref. That's part of the game.
Craig, what do you think Ken Scott was saying to the official? Something about back points?
Yeah, I think he wanted a few more there. You know, it's okay. That's a coach's right to question a referee as to why he gave some points and didn't give others. Just doing his job.
Mike Pilato will start out the second period on the bottom position. Tries to get to his feet.
Got a good stand up and cut. Maybe we can get 1 point neutral here, but Madison Central wrestler here, just controlling a little bit too well for us to get that 1-point escape. This might be one of those times you want to get a fresh start. And now that's exactly what they do now. Let's watch both wrestlers, see what the first move is going to be here. I think East Brunswick will work a stand-up, and you'll probably see Madison go for an ankle or a chop. And we see the stand-up, and Madison did try the chop. So they're pretty predictable there.
Pilato tries to get to his knees to get up to his feet if he can.
That's a tough position to wrestle from where he is right now. Can't wrestle from your stomach. Got to get up to a good base, and then from there work to your feet. Of course, the man on top of you has a different idea. So, so it's, you know, it's easier said than done.
4-0's our score. We have 1:06 left in the second period. 130 pounds. Pilato against Seawald.
Good quick cut here to face his opponent. Might give him 1 point. He's got to peel that one hand off, and the wrestlers go out.
Pilato's having no problem getting up to his feet. It's just after that point.
Most of your wrestling moves are like that. You can start out well enough, but unless you can finish a move, like I mentioned earlier, you don't get anything for effort. It's what you do finally that counts. And that's the hardest thing of all, is to finish your move off. And referee calling these out of bounds quite quickly, it seems, but wrestlers should be aware of that. Then they have to plan for that. Doesn't do any good to complain about it. Got to alter your strategy accordingly. Good stand up. Let's see. We might get
All
1
right.
point. There we go.
4-1.
Nice stand up.
Now he's got to go after him. 30 seconds in this second period.
Good shot by East Brunswick, but then you see a good counter move, good defense by Madison as he sprawls. Puts some weight on his opponent here. Looking to spin behind. East Brunswick holding on to him. And out again. Out again.
No points. 4-1 our score with 11 seconds.
One thing you want to do on your feet, and it's a sign of a good wrestler, is they'll have movement. You don't really want to be a statue standing in one position. That gives your opponent a chance to set up some offensive moves. You'll want to be constant motion.
So we'll go to the third and final period at 130 pounds. Mike Pilato trails 4-1, but he's fighting a tough opponent in Andy Seawald, who finished second in the counties this past week.
Let's see what Seawald will do here for his first move, and what East Brunswick will do to counter it. That's what we would call a sit-back right there. A sit-back position to a Peterson, which didn't turn out too well, but he does get 1 point for an escape.
5-1 now the score. And Pilato's doing quite well for really little experience in the sport.
Doing a very good job here. It's hard to believe. This Seawald second in the county. The county's as tough as it is. He's having a real good year, and East Brunswick just hanging tough in here, taking good shots. Once again, though, we have to finish it, and you really don't want to be in that position on your hands and knees. Got to work a little bit more on penetrating with his shots.
Can he pull it in?
Good position here now. If he can pop it off, he'll be in good shape.
The referee showing what, Greg?
I think he's stretching. Okay, that was 1 point for East Brunswick, I believe, and
yes,
what we had there, seems that we have a question here. I think that was an illegal hold. I think the Madison wrestler had a scissors on.
he did.
on East Brunswick's head, which is illegal. You can't scissor your legs around his head. You can use what's known as a figure 4 on the head, but a leg scissors is illegal.
58 seconds remain in this match. Pilato and Seawall. Pilato trails 5-2, but he's given Seawall a real battle.
Pilato doing a good job here. He can get a takedown on this, and it'll be a 5-4 match, and it'll be anybody's race. So he's in good position, but they can't relax. Seawall will take advantage of any mistake he makes.
Coach Cohn says that Pilato's a quick learner, and obviously that's the case here.
Doing a fantastic job here. 25 seconds to go in the bout.
Got to watch himself as he goes out of bounds.
One thing you can't do as a wrestler, and that is relax during a match. You relax for just a couple seconds, and that's it. Could be the ball game.
Inside of 20 seconds.
Seawall looking for an ankle pick, changing up to a single, and getting maybe 2 points, not yet. Terrific defense. Good. Didn't give up any points here. Very good. 8 seconds to go yet.
And that will do it at 130 pounds. Pilato losing to Seawall 5-2, but certainly nothing to be ashamed of there.
Very true about that. Quite sure that Madison Central coach Ken Scott was expecting 6 points right there, and came away very far short of that. They only got 3 team points for it. Plus now what we're entering here is the heart of East Brunswick's lineup, and we've got 3 quality wrestlers here. Well, it'll be 4.
We go to 135 pounds. Mark Winter for the Bears against Vin Piskolka. I hope I'm pronouncing that young man's name right.
Not bad. Piskolka. Piskolka's been around quite a bit. He's got quite a lot of recreation experience. But, Mark Winter has wrestled varsity for some time, and let's see if that varsity experience is going to pay off here.
Mark is a senior, and he's being moved up in weight. Usually wrestles at 130, tonight at 135.
It's part of the gamble now, and like I said, after this, we'll move up into 3 county place winners for for East Brunswick. So Mark and the next 3 is where East Brunswick hopes to score a lot of points.
And Mark right away goes on top 2-0.
See a situation here with Mark having legs in and also working on his opponent's arms. This is a very effective type of wrestling here if used properly, but it's somewhat akin to handling nitroglycerin. If you make one little mistake, it could really mean some trouble, but on the other hand, you can rack up a lot of points if used effectively. And we kind of see the situation happening here. Mark doing a good job keeping his opponent controlled, but he's looking for those back points, looking to get that half Nelson in so he can tilt his opponent.
Pasolka struggling to get out.
Good position here. Mark's trying to work that half Nelson. The referee indicating that the back isn't tilted enough yet, but Mark's getting real close to it now. And referee's saying no, but referee's counting now. Mark's going to get some big back points here.
5 seconds.
But the leg's coming out. He's going to have to fix this up.
They'll go out with 1 second. 3 points, though, for Winter. 5-0.
Big move there, big move. He's got a nice lead here now, and he's looking good. Madison looks like he's starting to tire. If you ever talk about momentum, that's what we see right now. Mark is off to a good start.
Team score, it's Madison Central 16, East Brunswick 4 as the first period comes to an end. Winter looking to his coach, and he'll take the top position.
think, John, what you're going to see here is East Brunswick's going to come storming back now. Down by 12 points, but they're coming into the heart of their lineup, which, by the way, is the first time they've had them all together here with Maloney in the lineup and Goldstein. They've been out for various reasons, but now they're back in. Referee signaling for back points, but says nope, didn't have them down long enough. And Mark working very hard with a half Nelson in here now. Got to get behind his opponent here now, otherwise he's going to give up some points, which Pasolka's very long and lanky, and Mark is going to give up 1 point here.
And out they go.
Didn't happen. Didn't happen. Very good. Still 5-0, and Mark showing that ability to turn his opponent and possibly get some back points.
.116 remains, second period.
Pasolka here was in a sit-back position trying to work something, but took that move and countered it very well. Keeping his weight on his opponent, looking to get those legs in again maybe. Possibly a cross-face cradle here. Very much in command of this match.
Pasolka now making a move on Winter.
Don't points yet, but Pasolka come back with a very nice move and puts Winters in trouble, gets 2 points for a reversal.
Makes it 5-2. Winter still in the lead, 25 seconds.
Winter can't relax here, and that's what he seems to be doing now. Can't do that, though. He's got to get back into the groove here, get that momentum back. Perhaps he can do that, the down position.
Going to have an injury timeout. You see Stu Cohn, John Mooney now coming into the picture.
Plus the referee there standing by, making sure no coaching takes place. That's the way it is with an injury time. If you call the injury, you can't be coached. But your opponent can. You can get some words of wisdom. This is an important start here. Let's see if Winter can get the momentum back. Now, Pasolka just scored 2 points. 23 seconds left in this period. Let's see if he can get back on the scoreboard here. Goes to a quick stand-up, to a switch. Nice control here, very nice. May be able to get 2.
And Winters is turned to his back.
Pasolka took advantage of one mistake here by Winter and trying to get some back points. And he's got looks like a cradle.
Trying to work the cradle. And that'll end the second period, but he'll come up with 2 points.
2 points for Pasolka, yeah.
We've got a 5-4 match going into the third and final period.
This is crucial, and you saw an example there of what one little mistake can cost you. Mark really had to fight to get off of his back, was in danger of even getting pinned. Very tough situation there. Taking a look now at the start of the third period, Mark will probably try his stand-up. And we got a false start here by the clocks. So we'd still have to reset now.
All right, they get the clock set. Final 2 minutes. 5-4, we're at 135 pounds. Mark Winter for East Brunswick against Vin Pasolka, Madison Central.
Big match. This is a very, very big match. You saw Mark go out to a 5-0 lead, but now Madison Central storming back here, scored the last 4 points to make it a real horse race here.
It's now Pasolka doing.
Yeah, putting legs in.
Yeah.
And I think we might see some dynamite go up in his face here.
Uh-oh. You called it, Greg.
Oh, no,
and now
I didn't. These guys, you can't call anything. Look at this. Pasolka's going to get back points. He's got Winters on his back. He's got to fight out of there, and he does. You can't call either one of these wrestlers.
3 points for Pasolka. He takes the lead now, 7-5. Inside of a minute left in this match. And Mark Winder, who jumped out to a 5-0 lead, now trails 7-5.
Plus, it looks like it was called a choke or across the throat, and the referee stopped the match. And now we have some injury time. Might mention one other East Brunswick wrestler who's still active, and that would be Trevor Lewis, who has gone over to Lehigh after graduating from Princeton, and is a graduate assistant for the wrestling team at Lehigh. So he had quite a nice career at Princeton, graduated, I believe, in architectural engineering, and he's now going for his master's degree at Lehigh.
And Greg, as a coach, you're not only are you obviously proud of their wrestling successes on the college level, but the fact that these young men have gone on, gotten their education, and are about ready to enter the real world, as we say.
True, and actually that's my biggest pleasure. I like nothing better than to see a kid get to school, maybe through wrestling, then go off to graduate, sometimes with honors, and become a productive citizen. And it's happened more times than not, and that's probably my greatest thrill in being associated with the sport.
Mark is on his feet. You'll have 54 seconds to try to get at, if you will, Vinny Pasolka, Madison Central. He trails 7-5.
54 seconds. Mark is certainly capable of scoring here, but right now Pasolka has got the momentum. Got to be up to Mark to turn that around. Tries to come up with a stand-up. Defended by Pasolka by grabbing his ankle. These guys are tough, though. You can't call these fellas. Nothing's predictable. It'll seem like one will have the other, and then they'll just reverse each other. Pasolka putting legs in now, and this is the position that Winder had Pasolka in at the start of the match.
30 seconds left.
Big match here. Pasolka's working for the fall. Mark's working to get out now. 15 seconds to go. Losing by 2. 10 seconds to go. And it looks like with 2 seconds to go here that Pasolka will come up the winner. It's 1 second left in the period. And that could have been a big match right there. Madison kept coming on. I guess it was like the tortoise versus the hare situation. East Brunswick sprinted out to a quick 5-0 lead, but Madison kept steady pace, and eventually looks like he's going to win the race here with just 1 second left.
And this will do it. And that'll be it. Pasolka comes back from being 5 down to win it 7-5 over Mark Winter at 135 pounds. And we'll go up to now the 140-pound category, where Scott Blackwell from East Brunswick will take on Brian Dooley.
Once again, East Brunswick playing some strategy here, taking 3 wrestlers, Fabriel, Goldstein, and Maloney, all county place winners, and moving them all up out of their normal weight class, hoping that strategy will play off in some points. Talking to Coach Stu Cohn before the match, he said that on paper they couldn't beat Madison straight up. Head-to-head, it wouldn't have worked out, so they had to go for it, and that's what they're trying to do here now by moving these wrestlers up.
Team score is Madison Central 19, East Brunswick 4. Scott Blackwell, a senior, normally a 135-pounder. And Scott, I believe, got hit in the face.
I mentioned that East Brunswick's been very fortunate in having not only good athletes, but good student athletes. And that's something which they've prided themselves on through the years. And it's just as important to excel in the classroom as it is that on the wrestling mat. You'll see a number of these wrestlers joining the college ranks very shortly. And it's always a pleasure to follow them once they get there.
We're ready to get back to action. Scott Blackwell and Brian Dooley, 140 pounds.
Scott working inside here with a tight tie-up, but Madison Central coming back with a throw. Very nice throw by the Madison wrestler. Putting those legs in again here. Now you've seen this quite a bit in tonight's action. A lot of leg wrestling taking place.
Greg, are you in favor of the rule change that I guess went into effect a couple years ago with the back points? Years ago, you had to have that fella on his back, let alone you know, showing just the shoulder blades. Has it helped or hurt the sport?
Well, it's helped evolve the sport. What's happened is at the Olympic level, you've got two styles. You have freestyle and Greco-Roman. And in both those styles, it's very easy to score points. As soon as you tilt them the slightest bit, then you're going to get points. And it wasn't that way in the scholastic and collegiate style. So in an effort to get the latter closer to the former, they've slowly changed these rules. And that makes it easier for the wrestlers to adjust to freestyle and Greco when they decide to enter that form of competition. So it's probably helped our Olympic effort, if nothing else. And I think it's made it more exciting. It's easy to score points.
Speaking of points,
Yeah.
Dooley on top, 2-0, but a point now for
Blackwell. And no back points awarded there. It's a positive thing for East Brunswick. Scott with that long, lanky build, and the Madison wrestler being a little bit more compact, makes for a study in contrast. Referee signaling to the Madison coach that no back points were awarded.
And we'll go to the second period. 2-1's our score.
Okay, referee momentarily losing a little track here. This is the second period, giving Blackwell the choice. Getting back to the Olympics, John, you've seen a steady improvement in wrestling from the United States, and part of it, I think, is attributed to the fact of these rule changes.
Do you ever foresee a time when wrestling will be all the same? Scholastic, collegiate, and...
Yeah, well, it's going to be a matter of Scholastic changing the freestyle is what it is. And in fact, I took a team once to Puerto Rico, and that's all they wrestle down there. They don't wrestle the style you see here. They wrestle freestyle. And it's not that big of a change. Personally, I'm in favor of that. Scott Blackwell working the reversal now, and takes a 3-2 lead. Working for some back points. You see how quickly a match can change here. Scott's looks like he's pretty effective with those tilts that you were talking about here. Back in the old days, he wouldn't get those points, but now they're a little bit more free with it, and I think we're going to see him get a few more points here. Referee counting. You can clearly see his hand there. He's got to hold him for 3 seconds. Okay. But Madison coming back for reversal. You've got Scott getting 2 points for a near fall, but Madison coming back with 2 points for a reversal.
Makes the score 5-4 with 50 seconds left in the second period. Blackwell still on top by 1. And here's another bout where it's going back and forth.
Yeah, this is another one of those matches that I I better not even try to call. I didn't do too good with the last match. Okay, we got 33 seconds here, and Blackwell coming up with a burst of points. The narrow 1-point lead. I think if the United States wants to do well in the Olympic arena, I think they're going to have to change to freestyle here. Many of these wrestlers in the spring and summer months will wrestle that style, but it is different. Let's see, referee stops the action here. And referee trying to figure out why he stopped the action here.
Greg, can a wrestler give up and just say to the referee he's had enough?
It's happened, but very rarely. Very rarely.
Not to suggest that's happening here, but...
No, and you won't see that happen here tonight at all. But sometimes an inexperienced wrestler will figure he's had enough and kind of stop the match. Blackwell in good position.
Blackwell, if he can turn.
If he can switch his hips, which he's putting a leg in. And it's going to go either way, folks. Hard to tell, hard to call it. Looks like Blackwell going to get a reversal here.
And at the buzzer, we're looking for points.
Call it. What is
2?
He gives 2 points for a reversal after the buzzer. He had to figure out first if East Brunswick had control. I'm sure he would have liked to have gone to a videotape on that just to double check it.
And Kenny Scott from Madison Central just shaking his head. He's the head coach.
Yeah, and hey, it's a judgment call.
And it's that quick. You have to make it that quick.
It's quick. That's right. And it's just something as a coach you may argue just to let the referee know that you're there, but you don't really expect him to change his mind.
7-4 is the score. We enter the third period. 140 pounds. Scott Blackwell against Brian Dooley. But don't blink on this match because points are coming in bunches.
Blackwell in good position, working for that tilt again. Very good position to score here. Plenty of time to do it in. Using his leverage to a very good advantage. You see the referee counting again now. Looks like, and he nods his head. That means Blackwell's going to get some points here.
2 more.
Looking good. Working that tilt very effectively in his leverage.
9-4. Blackwell on top. Fans yelling stalling on the Madison Central wrestler.
Looks like the Madison Central wrestler just kind of ran out of steam here. And here you see an example of East Brunswick not wrestling the full time here. He kind of gave that point up unnecessarily. So he's going to have to work hard for the takedown now. It looks like East Brunswick got certainly the momentum, and Madison Central appears to be on E right about now, John, in terms of fuel.
9-5 our score, 44 seconds remain in the match. Scott Blackwell doing an outstanding job here against Brian Dooley.
Scott's ready to go. Brian don't want to hear
Brian
it.
wasn't even aware.
Yep, Scott's got to get this takedown now, and looks like he may. No, bad move there. You know, you can't call these guys. Forget it.
And now Dooley on top, and he'll get 2, make it 9-7. We got 27 seconds. If he can get Blackwell to his back, this could be trouble. 20 seconds. And I don't think Dooley has the stamina.
10 seconds to go here. Madison's going to work to turn him, and it looks like he's going to do it.
He may do it.
Can't figure these guys out.
He's got Blackwell. Back points at the buzzer. 2 more. We're tied at 9.
Bad break for East Brunswick there, right at the buzzer. Coming up with 2 points. Tough tie here. Very tough.
And so we have a tie, 9-9, Dooley and Blackwell. And believe me, Dooley pulled that one out, Greg.
You know, they say you got to wrestle till the very buzzer, and you saw an example where Scott got close to the out of bounds line, kind of relaxed a little bit, gave up the 1 point, and then here again at the buzzer, giving up the back points. It's a tough loss for Scott. Well, it's not a loss, it's a tie, but when you consider that it could have been a win, it's tough.
And so both teams will split the points. Madison Central will get 2 to make it 21. East Brunswick's 2 will make it 6. 21-6 as we go to 145 pounds. John Fabriel for East Brunswick going against Wayne Solano. Fabriel 15-3-1 this season and has moved back and forth between 140 and 145 pounds. Placed third in the county tournament last week.
Yes, his one loss, John, was to the eventual county champion. John came back and won his consolation bout, and he's definitely one of the leaders of the team here. And this is it for East Brunswick. They got to make their move now. There's no more bouts down the road. They got to win and win big. Last 2 matches were heartbreaks for East Brunswick here. Fortunately, though, the experience now, the team's got to come through. John securing a 2-point takedown.
So Fabriel jumps out 2-0.
Potentially dangerous. Referee stops it again, and here we go in the referee's position. By the way, you notice the Madison wrestler last time looked like he was out of shape. Frequently in these winter months, there's a lot of flu and a lot of influenza going around, and they may be coming off an illness. So it's not a matter of a kid not training properly, but he just might be fighting or coming off some illness. See John very much in control here, lifting his opponent off the mat.
.54 seconds remain, first period. Fabriel on top, 2-0.
Once again, we see the legs in here. Both teams seem to be making good use of it. Referee stops the match for potentially dangerous again. Let's see what their first moves are here. Looks like Madison Central try to control the wrists, is looking for a little head spin, maybe a Peterson. And Fabriel trying to counter that, going to give up 1 point.
And you're right, 2-1 now our score.
That was one of the few times tonight so far I was right. But John not too worried. He's very good on his feet. As you see, shot in for a low single leg. Takes his opponent down, gets the 2 points right back. Once they start to stand like this, the referee will call that potentially dangerous. He's worried that one wrestler will lose control and perhaps injure either himself or his opponent.
4-2 at the buzzer.
John not looking too concerned here. He knows he's in pretty good shape, but he's got to get some big points here. Sadly, John, we saw a former East Brunswick head coach, Paul Quirk.
Yes. It's good to see Paul again.
Appearing in the stands, and he's now a principal at Keensburg. Hey, John's very good on his feet now. Let's see what kind of moves here. Right now he's trying to set things up. East Brunswick takes a very nice shot, though. Looks like John's in trouble. John loses the takedown now. That's 2 points for Madison.
5-4. And they'll come to the center.
Hey, and John trying to be nonchalant about that, but there's only a 1 point difference in scores here. Tucks his ankles under. Madison starts from the weird side. John with a nice stand-up, but Madison counters by dropping down to John's ankle and holding on. Perhaps hoping for a stalemate, but Fabriel's in very good position here. He's above his opponent, working in a crossface. As long as he can keep his opponent down, keep his weight on him, he'll be in good shape.
Inside of 1 minute left, second period.
Yeah, you see Madison hanging on. Referee might be thinking stalemate at this point. If neither wrestler can improve their position, that's what he'll call, and that's what he does here now. Stalemate, neither wrestler was in a position to improve their situation. 55 seconds to go here.
145 pounds, John Fabriel against Wayne Solano.
Good classic stand-up. Good stand-up by Fabriel. Drops in right away for a leg, trying to get the takedown.
6'4", Fabriel adding to his lead.
John's tough here. John's very tough on his feet.
2 more to make it 8-4.
Quick succession there of points for East Brunswick with an escape. That was 1 point. A takedown was another 2, so he got a quick 3 points. And now is looking to turn his opponent with that leg ride. Getting a little bit of trouble here. This Madison wrestler
Turns it.
and he gives up a reversal. Oh no!
Oh, no points awarded.
I think there's a question or two being raised from the Madison Central side.
They'll give 1 point to Solano, 8-5.
That was a plus for Fabriel. He's controlling his opponent on his feet here, and unfortunately, though, time runs out, and we're into the next period.
Third period coming up. Fabriel in the lead, 8-5, and an injury timeout. Fabriel having some problem with his fingers. You can see that they're taped, usually indicating a possible sprain or even a break.
Something which has surprised me, John, is we haven't seen a pin yet.
I was just thinking about that myself, Greg.
You know, it's been a while here. Normally in a meet like this, you'll see several pins by this point in the meet. Looks like John's getting some tape rearranged on his fingers. That being a common injury for wrestlers, sprained fingers, wrestlers grabbing or perhaps even stepping on a hand. This week pretty much concludes the dual meet season for the teams, and next week they go into the sectional playoffs. As we mentioned, both Madison Central and East Brunswick have qualified. Plus another team, Cedar Ridge, has drawn the top seed in the Group 3 division.
Cedar Ridge, a team we haven't seen in a while.
True, they have a pretty good record this year, I believe.
Yeah.
They're coming in with a 13-1-1 record. Their one tie being against, being the only blemish on Madison Central's record. They're 11-0-1.
Solano will take the bottom position as Fabriel will be on top for the final period. Team score is Madison Central 21, East Brunswick 6. Fabriel gets away.
John looking very good on those escapes. Pretty good on his feet.
Actually, Fabriel was on top, so no points awarded. 8-6 is the score. And this is where John prefers to be, I would imagine.
Looking very good here. He's almost taking his opponent down at will, but this match has not gone according to script at all. Neither the match in itself or the individual bouts. You just can't predict these things.
Solano goes right after him.
Yeah, and now Solano turns it around and scoring a takedown on what was Fabriel's forte.
And we're tied at 8. Almost a replay of what we just saw.
Got 1 minute to go here, and Fabriel might want to get a new start, as we call it.
They go out of bounds with 52 seconds remaining.
Okay, this match is much closer than East Brunswick wanted it. John tucks his ankles, comes up to a stand-up real quick, does a nice quick turn, but he's got to get his leg free, and he's not in total good position here at this point. Madison Central able to bring him down. 35 seconds to go. It's a tie score here. Fabriel working to get a point, and does. He's going to get 1 point there, but now he's got to be careful. If he loses a takedown, he loses the bout.
23 seconds. He's in the lead, 9-8. Solano goes for the takedown. Can he pull it in? He's got 17 seconds to do it. And they go out of bounds.
Going to be very close. There's 12 seconds to go now here. Madison gets that takedown, and that's going to be the ball game. Okay, let's see what's going to happen now.
Apparently there's some commotion going on outside the gym as fans are jumping out and really taken away from a fine bout. And that'll do it, and Fabriel holds on 9-8.
Hey, big match there. Big 1 point victory there for East Brunswick. Very close to the end. And John, I prefer to think that the hot dog man showed up and everybody's going to go and get a bit of refreshment.
I hope you're right, Greg. Anyway, we go up to 152, where Dave Goldstein, first time we'll see him this year, comes out for East Brunswick against Greg Toten.
Totten here is a quality wrestler for Madison, but for East Brunswick, they've got a more than quality wrestler in the form of Dave Goldstein. Dave coming off an injury for most of the year to take second place in the county tournament, and has been doing very, very well as of late.
Dave, who was a defending district champ, two-time regional qualifier, second in the county, made the all-county team in '88, all-Sentinel team. Has been a 3-year varsity starter for the Bears. 8-1 record, and as you mentioned, injuries have slowed him up this year. All 8 wins have come via the pin, however.
Yeah, he's a big point getter for East Brunswick, and that's what he's looking for here. I might add that Dave's very unique in that with an outstanding football career, you don't find too many athletes doing well in 2 or more sports. In the old days, that was a common occurrence, but now they kind of specialize somewhat early. And Dave is unique now. He had an outstanding football season, and now you're going to see him come back with an equally good wrestling season. I believe he set the school record, I think, for rushing for East Brunswick.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he did. No score, 48 seconds remain first period. Goldstein wrestling at 152 for the Bears against Taunton, Greg Taunton, Madison Central. Team-wise, it's Madison Central 21, East Brunswick 9.
Starting to look slim for East Brunswick at this point, but they still can do it. They can still pull it off, but they got to start scoring and scoring big. Okay, and you see Goldstein here trying to work his takedown. He's pretty much been the aggressor in this first period, but nevertheless hasn't any points to show for it. Trying to work a front headlock. He's pretty strong in here now. You see Madison backing up, which the referee may want to draw attention to. 2 seconds to go. Looks like this will be a scoreless first period.
First that we've had tonight. So we'll go into the second period. Both wrestlers looking for some points.
Okay, and I might mention now after the sectionals next week, what will happen is the long road to the states, beginning with the district tournament, in which the top 3 places will go to the regions, in which the top 3 places of that make it to the ultimate goal, as we like to call it, the state championship. Goldstein trying to work a quick reversal, but Totten effectively countering with legs here. And if I remember right, Totten's a pretty good leg wrestler. Goldstein's going to have to get out of this guy in a hurry so as not to get tied up. See Totten trying to force those legs in. He wants to get those things in there real bad. And working now to get a better base, get his weight on Goldstein, who's tied up pretty good here.
Still no score, second period.
Referee calls a stalemate. It's apparent to him that neither wrestler can improve their position. So let's start the show over here, and let's see what these boys can do.
Two points for Goldstein.
Goldstein with a reversal now, and now he throws legs on Totten. And let's see what happens here. We've seen a lot of this tonight, where one wrestler will put the other wrestler's favorite move, see how he likes it.
So Goldstein breaks out on top, 2-0. Inside a minute left, second period.
Goldstein looking for that half Nelson, hoping to control his opponent with it, but more importantly, hoping to secure some back points. And Goldstein now putting in legs, which is exactly what Totten had a second ago. And if it doesn't look like either wrestler will improve their position, then they're going to break it, call a stalemate, and let's start over.
"19 seconds remain."
Close match, only a 2-point difference here separate the two wrestlers, and Totten stands up, and the referee stops that for a potentially dangerous situation here. Okay, and Madison Central coach having a question as to what's taking place here in this particular match. And the referee obliging him. Kind of a strange match here. Both wrestlers using the other's style. Very close in points. Only 2-point difference here. A lot of stalemates. I don't think you normally see this many. But Madison working real hard for a reversal. And Goldstein, very, very good good result there for Madison, for East Brunswick.
So Goldstein will go into the final period with a very tenuous 2-0 lead at 152 pounds.
I'll tell you a quick story, John. I confuse the wrestlers sometimes here, Madison versus East Brunswick, but I coached for 8 years at Madison where the uniform was blue. I went to Middlesex for 3 years where the uniform was blue. And then when I went to East Brunswick, the very first match was against Madison Central. And for a good part of the meet, during the JV meet, I'm rooting for the wrong kid. And the East Brunswick wrestlers wanted to throw me out, saying, what kind of coach is this? Because frequently you can't see the faces, and you got to go by the uniforms. And it was 9 years of conditioning I had to overcome.
Greg, what's your future in terms of coaching again in the sport? Not to put you on the
Well,
spot and not to have your wife
Yeah.
come down on you after she sees this program.
You're in big trouble, John. No, I still am involved in wrestling. I am the tournament director for the Top of the East, and I also am the tournament director for the Old Bridge Wrestling Festival and the Old Bridge Wrestling Camp, which, by the way, the festival draws over 1,000 wrestlers each summer from about 14 different states. So I am involved in it, but as to whether I return to coaching someday, that's remains to be seen. I have to concentrate on a doctoral degree, which I'm attempting to complete in computer education, and it's keeping me quite busy. In fact, after here, I got to go back and study. 40 seconds now in this third period. 2-1, very, very tight race here. Both wrestlers being a little bit cautious. I think that's more out of respect to each other's abilities and records than anything here. Goldstein definitely having an edge as being aggressive, but very tough to get points against Totten here. Last period, 30 seconds to go about.
Injury timeout for Taunton. Greg, quite honestly, this did not live up to the advanced billing that we thought it might in terms of excitement and
Yeah, that's true, John. I think what's happened is there were a few close bouts which went to Madison's way and really has widened this up to where it's very tough for East Brunswick to come back and be competitive. We saw one tie, which occurred at the buzzer, and we saw a loss for East Brunswick after having a 5-point lead, and that's a big difference in team points right there.
it's 21-9 in the team scoring. Madison Central with the lead.
It would have been more like 13-17, and close meets result in a lot of excitement and enthusiasm. And right now, with a 21-9 difference in team scores, we don't have that. But we have seen some excellent wrestling. That's the shame of it all. Unfortunately, East Brunswick's been on the short end of the scorecard for most of the evening. But the bouts themselves have been very close, very tight, and the viewers here have been treated to some good wrestling. Both wrestlers you see now working real hard. Only 5 seconds left, and
That'll be it.
East Brunswick with 2 points at the buzzer.
And Goldstein comes away with a 4-1 victory at 152 pounds. Moving up now, we'll go to 160 where Kevin Maloney will step in. Kevin,
yeah,
it's hard to believe him at 160 or wrestling in that weight class.
He's grown a little bit over the years.
Yeah.
But he just is coming off a win in the county tournament where he took first place. And coming up a little later on, as Kevin gets good luck from his coach, Madison has a county champion in the form of their heavyweight.
All right, Kevin going against Joe Brady, 160 pounds. We have yet to see a pin tonight.
Pin will put the East Brunswick right back in the ball game. That would be 21-18. And maybe we'll then have a horse race to the end here. But they've been very hard to come by this evening. Not one pin for the whole meet. Pin's like a touchdown in football. That gets everybody going. That's exciting to see and gets the juices flowing here. Maybe Kevin can do that for East Brunswick. Kevin with a lot of experience, coming off an injury to win the counties last week.
Slapping, a warning now from the referee.
Yeah, and Kevin demonstrating to the referee what he was actually doing in terms of a setup. Referee, however, disagreeing. Kevin's very good on his feet here. We should see a takedown real quick. He tries a duck under and then changes to an ankle pick. Defended by Madison, however. Okay, we don't see much shooting on the Madison's wrestler on his part. Kevin trying a shrug, and now may try a throw here, which Kevin's pretty adept at. Since Kevin's senior year, he's had a lot of experience. He's wrestled varsity for a long time, and we have now breaking the action by the referee.
And you're right, Greg. Kevin has been a 4-year starter, the only one on this team. As he comes around, picks up 2.
Duck under. Nice technique there. And that's what Kevin's capable of right there.
He was a former district champion, state qualifier last year, and is 14-1 this season. And that'll do it for the first period. Maloney on top, 2-0. Maloney and Brady, 160 pounders.
Second period now. Kevin wants to come out and get that quick takedown and start looking for some back points here. He took his opponent down with a nice duck under last time. It looks like he's trying to set it up again. Goes to a head snap. Followed up now by a front headlock. To this. Oh, that. Oh.
And he almost got caught himself.
Oh, boy. I tell you, that could have gone either way. He could have pinned that kid if he had just been an inch more of balance. And that's how it goes in wrestling. Instead of pinning his opponent, he loses 2 points on takedown. But he's going to get that back in a hurry. I shouldn't say that. I've been jinxing these guys maybe all night.
We're tied at 2, second period.
Working a headlock, which Kevin works very, very well. Puts his opponent to his back after getting the reversal. And now Kevin can smell that fall. He's hungry for it.
Minute and 13 left. So Brady's got a lot of time on his back.
Plenty of time here, and Kevin knows how to work that head and arm here. This guy on bottom is not in a very comfortable position. Getting real close. You can see here with the angle how flat he is on this side.
Wait, looking for our first pin tonight.
Kevin's working it tough.
50 seconds.
Plenty of time. This is called a head and arm. Kevin's a master at it. He's been doing it for a long time.
Looking to squeeze it. 40 seconds.
Referee doesn't seem to be too concerned here. Like, you don't have a good angle here, but this kid's close to getting pinned. Right there.
There it is, our first pin tonight. Maloney pins Brady. 29 seconds in the second period left. And East Brunswick, as you said, Greg, quickly jumps back into the ball game.
That was needed. That was a big, big pin there. That was needed very, very badly. So at this point now, there's only a 3-point difference. We're talking 18-21.
And now we go to 171, where Scott Kammerer will take on Joe Inguagiato. And boy, I can't believe I got that one across.
That was good, John. That was good. 3 times real quick now.
Let's see if Scott can keep it going now for the Bears. The crowd is seeming to get back into this now. So Kevin Maloney with a pin puts East Brunswick back in the hunt. And Scott Kammerer, a sophomore, out there now. And he's been a major surprise for Coach Cohn.
Scott's learned very quickly, and he's doing a very good job here throughout the season.
First period action.
2 points awarded there for a takedown, and that was
Whoa.
another close call on the referee. I think he probably would have preferred a much wider circle here, maybe the size of the gym, because that's been the main source of controversy for the official here. It was out of bounds.
Meggiolaro jumps out now 2-0.
Good counter there. East Brunswick stands up, cut in, but then East Brunswick, Madison Central dropped into the legs to effectively counter that move. I think you see tonight the flow of these things. It's attack, counter, counter, attack, and it just goes back and forth like that. East Brunswick working to stand up. Then once again, Madison Central dropping in on the leg to effectively neutralize any points.
Meggiolaro taking a lot of time.
Sometimes that's good. He's trying to think what his opponent did at the last whistle and how he can effectively counter it this time. This is still a horse race here. If East Brunswick can come up with 2 big wins here, get a good lead before going into heavyweight, because like I said, we're going to have some trouble there. We have a defending county champion in the form of the Madison wrestler.
Coach Cohn says of Scott Kammerer that he's a backyard brawler, afraid of no one, fears none, and always wrestles with intensity.
Looks like we have equal type here in terms of body builds. Both wrestlers very well built, and it looks like they're really using their strength and their muscle as much as they can here.
First period's winding down, 20 seconds. We're at 171 pounds. Scott Kammerer for East Brunswick against Joe Meggiolaro of Madison Central. Scott would do me a favor if he pinned this kid quick.
Why do you do that to yourself there, John? I don't know. Okay, Madison Central with a cradle, and Scott had a chance.
Oh, at the buzzer and
Scott
beats
had
it.
a chance to counter that, but just missed it by an inch. And fortunately, that ended the period, so there were no back points awarded, and we still have just a 2-0 match here. This match is crucial for East Brunswick. If anything, if they're going to pull it out, they've got to win this one.
Both wrestlers on their feet. Second period action.
Both wrestlers stalking each other, and you see here each trying to control the other's arm. Setting up. This is known as man's oldest sport. They figure that the cavemen have been wrestling for a long, long time, and we've had thousands of years to perfect it with different technique. You see these wrestlers out here today trying to do some of that. Both take a quick shot at the whistle, and looks like Madison Central is in control here. Scott isn't in too bad a shape if he can maintain his balance. Keep that whizzer, that overhook that he's got of that one arm, and don't let his. He should be trying to control that other arm too here. Successfully defends against that attack, working a sprawl now. And it looks like no points will be awarded there as they go out of bounds.
.58 seconds remaining, second period.
One thing I might add, John, and that is this match doesn't mean much in terms of records. Madison Central has already clinched the red division of the Middlesex County Conference, and they both have qualified for the sectionals. So this one really is for bragging rights within this part of Middlesex County. These two schools being adjacent to each other, get to mix a lot and meet each other a lot in the mall and so on. So this really means a lot in terms of bragging rights for the remainder of the next 12 months till they meet again. East Brunswick taking the edge in the county tournament, second to South Plainfield, which won their third consecutive title. And eking out over Madison Central. Once again, the referee making a tough call at the edge, and fans reacting accordingly. Scott with a deep shot. Got to pull that leg in, though, to get the takedown. Can't get stretched out. Can't let his opponent put his weight on him.
10 seconds remain, second period. Camera trailing 2-0.
This has been a rivalry going back decades, like 25, 30 years ago, with Jay Doyle, and Madison at that time was coached by Al Kiley.
Yes.
Some very big rivalries. Last year, in fact, East Brunswick really totally dominated the Madison Central meet and won by a substantial margin. But right now, looks like it's Madison Central here with a thin lead.
Greg, you would know better than I would imagine, though, that the Madison Central program is based on recreational wrestling and intermediate and junior high school wrestling programs.
Definitely, and that is a good part of East Brunswick's success.
Yes.
Recently there was an excellent article in one of the local newspapers on the recreation programs, and they've mentioned Old Bridge with their Mat Rats, and the East Brunswick Wrestling Club, which has a tremendous recreation program, headed, I might add, by a former wrestler, Tony Smith, who wrestled for East Brunswick about 3-4 years ago. And yeah, that's where they get their experience. That's where they get their first taste. And nowadays, it's almost essential for a school to have a good feeder system like that. I actually don't like the word feeder system because it's an excellent activity in and of itself.
Sure.
The fact that it does feed a high school situation is nice, but it's great all alone. And,
Inside a minute of this third period, excuse me, Greg, 171 pounds, and Meggiolaro still holding on to a 2-0 lead over Cameron.
Okay.
Cameron now comes up with 1 point.
True, and this is the first time we've seen this in the whole match. That's 1 point for East Brunswick for stalling on the part of the Madison Central wrestler. He hasn't been too active in the bottom position. The referee gave a warning before, and now as he continued that type of strategy, the referee gave him a point. The Madison Central coach here yelling to his wrestler to move. That's a good thing, by the way, for fans to yell to your wrestler, move. Because if you're moving, you're not going to give up any points. And so let's see what happens now. It's only a 1 point difference now. And Madison not moving all that much. East Brunswick trying to turn his opponent. This is a big match. East Brunswick's got to come up with a win here. There's 28 seconds left in this period. And you see the Madison wrestler really not doing a heck of a lot. And I think as you hear the fans yell, encouragement to the referee to call a stall. Maybe we'll see that.
Down to 10 seconds left. Can Camera do something? 7 seconds.
Okay, this third period here.
1 point, we're tied at 2. That'll do it.
Not enough time. Okay, but almost at the buzzer, the referee awards another point stalling, resulting in a tie. Madison maintains a narrow 3-point lead. And this is going to go down to the last 2 bouts of the evening here, John.
And that'll bring us to 189, where Matt Pazinko will take on Mike William.
Wrestling at 189 from Madison Central, Mike Williams, East Brunswick, Matt
Hey, now both coaches here are calculating mathematically the possibilities here. I think perhaps they've both written in 6 points for Madison in heavyweight, although that may not necessarily be true. Brian Carantra at heavyweight has recently come out, has been wrestled for a bit, and a potentially dangerous situation there, as you can see the Madison wrestler's knee being twisted. Matt Pazenko being very aggressive here. Very young, but at the same time, this is one of those wrestlers that's come in through the recreation wrestling program and wrestled for Churchill and Hammarskjöld, where they have a long tradition of very fine wrestling there.
2 points given to Williams.
Okay, and he's got a deep half on Pazenko here. You can see how that arm's going, and Matt's in big trouble now.
He's on his back. Certainly, East Brunswick can't afford a pin here. It'll be all over.
No, that'll be it. East Brunswick's got to get a win, but we're in bad position, very bad position. We got a minute to go here, a long time. Pazenko fighting now to get off his back. And it might be tough for Madison to pin that way. Looks to me like he's got his arm under there.
50 seconds, still a lot of time, because Pazenko's trying to get to his stomach. 45 seconds. Williams, and that'll do it, pin, and that'll be the match in effect.
Hey, that is the match right there, and tough one for East Brunswick there. They had some hopes there at that weight, and they just wasn't meant to be tonight. They've had quite a few close matches. Now we're coming down to heavyweight, in which we see the county champion from Madison going against Brian Carantra. They did meet in the county tournament, I might add, with Tanelia scoring a fall over East Brunswick.
Tanelia against Brian Carantra.
Carantra, that's not bad, John. Carantra. And Tanelia here looking a little bit bigger than Brian, and probably feeling a little bit more confident after his recent championship.
Plus he's got a tattoo.
Yeah, that doesn't mean anything in terms of points, but there have been a number of wrestlers who have had tattoos, John, I might add. But that does not a wrestler make. And we get now a warning here on the part of the Madison boy for pushing a little bit too much.
And Brian Carantra is a scholar athlete, if you will. High SAT scores, a perfect 4.0 GPA, and will be looking to the Ivy League to further his education.
Brian is one of those fellows I was telling you about, the student athlete, and he is a student. So, fine young man, and I wish him all the luck in college next year, as I'm sure all East Brunswick fans do.
And he stepped in. Sean Smith was the heavyweight. Sean left the team, and Brian's come in and tried his best. That's a tough role to fill.
That's true, John, but you know, it's important to remember that Brian is the best heavyweight that East Brunswick has. And he should feel that, you know.
That's
he
right.
shouldn't feel that, well, it could have been somebody else. That's not true. He is the best heavyweight that Madison has. I mean, a wrestler can have all the potential in the world, but unless he's willing to train every day and be a part of the team, it comes to naught. And wrestling is a very tough sport. You know, I had been talking about how the weight classes are the nice part of wrestling. It's also its biggest minus, because many sports, like basketball, football, you can leave the playing field or the court and forget about the sport. You know, you'll train you 2 hours and forget about it. But with a wrestler, he's got to worry about his diet all the time.
Yes.
He can't leave his stomach in the gym and not worry about it. So it's with him 24 hours a day, having to worry about making a specific weight, watching his weight, eating proper foods, and so on. So it's something that you carry around with you for a long time.
8 seconds remaining here.
So fortunately, it does afford a good chance for coaches to talk about nutrition and eating proper foods. And you know, one of the biggest problems in America today is overweight. So this gives us a chance to teach kids at a younger level how to maintain their weight, how to stay in shape, how to eat the right foods.
That'll end the first period. Tanelia on top, 2-0. Well, Ranta will work from a standing position.
And it looks like we got a little blood here, which isn't bothering the Madison wrestler too much. And Brian working now for that takedown against the slightly heavier Tanelia.
What is the maximum at the heavyweight division, or is there?
True, there is a maximum there. For a while there wasn't, and they had a lawsuit or two against them. When you get a 190 pounder going against a 290 pounder, a 100-pound difference. So I believe now the limit is 275 pounds, which means that some of these boys have to watch their weight. You know, and in the old days, the heavyweight, he could be as big as he wanted. He was the only guy on the team who didn't have to lose weight. But I think for the better of wrestling, and those boys who weigh over 275, gives them encouragement to cut down. So that's been one of the positive things here about wrestling. And here we have a 1 point going against East Brunswick for backing up, which is easy to do when you've got somebody the size of Tanelia pushing into you.
Tanelia leading 3-0.
And the referee signaling out of bounds. Yeah, one thing wrestling does for most of these young men is give an appreciation of food. If you've ever seen some of these boys after a weigh-in and some of the meals that they put together, you'll know what I'm talking about. For the most part, it's healthy. It's good that they be concerned with their weight. And now, you see a takedown here by Madison Central, and puts Brian to his back right away. Now, this is a very tough position for Brian to be in. He's got this giant wrestler on his back, and the
that'll be
referee
it.
signaling rather dramatically a pin here.
Spins his way out to call the pin, and that'll finish it up. The final here in terms of team is Madison Central 35, East Brunswick 20. And Greg, it kind of started off very slowly, came to life, some tough breaks for East Brunswick. Then it really came to life when Kevin Maloney pinned his opponent, and we really thought things were going to start to go. And I think the pin of Matt Pazinko at 189 snuffed out any hopes.
Definitely, John, but I think East Brunswick had some strategy here, and for the most part, they were in a position to win this match tonight, but there were a few close bouts there in the lower middleweight, so to speak, in which they lost that opportunity. But for the most part, the strategy played off. They were in a position all night long to win it, and it just wasn't meant to be.
Well, East Brunswick's dual meet record now goes to 6-7. Madison Central increases their record to 12-0-1. Big win for Madison Central. East Brunswick now will set its sights on the regions and then onto the states.
Hey, yeah, well, I think they have one more dual meet left against Cedar Ridge, I believe.
Could be, could be.
Yeah, I believe against Cedar Ridge, and then they'll go up to the sectionals next week, followed by the districts, regions, and states. So all of you viewers out there, there's a lot of wrestling going on yet, and I'm sure you'll be able to cheer some of these boys on to some state titles. So
for Greg DeMarco, I'm John Meggiolaro saying thanks for being with us.